that's where the laughter should have stopped. That would have been funny. You know, there's an old saying when a guy is dating a young lady, and it goes like this: why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? There's also an old saying for when a guy is married and he's thinking about cheating on his wife, and it goes like this: why go out for milk when you got a cow at home? Is that right? I saw an article that said, statistically speaking, men with deeper voices have more children. I thought, shouldn't that be men who have more sex have more children? Because I'm pretty sure you can't talk a woman pregnant, no matter how deep you go. I was watching Ted Kennedy's funeral, and during the 21-gun salute, you probably noticed they went ahead and fired a couple shots into the coffin, just so he wouldn't feel left out. See, that's historically wrong on so many levels. I was making eggs for breakfast, and I noticed on my carton of eggs, it says, these eggs laid by chickens that have never been caged. And I thought, what? Chickens that have never been caged? Does everybody in the country have some inconsequential little protest they just have to stand up for? Next thing you know, there'll be a church group out there looking for eggs that have never been laid. And who comes up with this protest anyway? In this particular case, I know exactly who it is. It's white people who still feel guilty about slavery, but don't want to pay reparations. Yeah, they got together, they had a meeting, they said, what can we do for the black man? Something that won't cost us any money. Do black people still like chicken? Yeah? Alright then, free the chickens. Black people are happy, white people don't have to pay reparations, and eggs just naturally taste better when they're free from the yoke of oppression. Thank you, that's one of my favorite jokes. That's awesome. You know, I was in Starbucks when they first came out with that new Paul McCartney CD, and after listening to a couple of his songs, I thought, wow, somebody shot the wrong Beatle. You know, I've never ever wanted to have sex with a man before, but if I ever did, that's Serena Williams. You just sign it next time. I remember when my boys were little babies, my wife bought this crazy little invention called a baby monitor. And you know how this works. You can hear the baby crying, even if you're in another room, you can hear the baby crying. When that's the exact reason I left the room in the first place. So I wouldn't have to hear that brat screaming. So we're on the couch trying to enjoy a quiet evening alone. She said, she hears the baby crying into the monitor. She says, Earl, you want to do something about that? I said, sure. Click. Shut the damn thing off. Because if you think about it, the only practical, logical reason to even own a baby monitor is to set one down right in front of you at the bar while you're drinking. Set the other one out in the car with the baby. Because what kind of an asshole brings a baby into a bar? I went in this store called the World Market, and in the back they had a Christmas tree ornament section, and they had this one Christmas tree ornament shaped like a dill pickle. And I was a smart aleck. I was like, what's that, a Christmas pickle? And sure enough, it was. It's a true tradition that comes over from Germany. And the way it works is this. The night before Christmas, the mother and the father, they take the pickle, they hide it around the Christmas tree somewhere, and the next morning when the kids all come down to open their presents, the first child to find the pickle gets an extra special prize. And I'm thinking, that's not right. I don't think I want to be part of a Christmas tradition that involves my mom and dad playing hide the pickle. I know I don't want to be part of a Christmas tradition where I'm going to hear some Santa Claus somewhere saying, "Hey, little Billy, if you find my pickle, you get an extra special prize." Sounds like a Christmas tradition a really bored Catholic priest came up with. No wonder the Germans are so uptight. My son was real sensitive when he was a kid. I remember I backed over his bicycle. He sure was mad, till I pulled him out from underneath the car. Remember the first day of kindergarten? Took my kids to school. After school was over, I actually got called into the principal's office because they said I taught him the alphabet song wrong. And this is the way I taught it to him. G, D, Q, P, K, B, Y, S, D, Z, T, C, L, U, E, M, H, X, W, J, R, N, F, I, N, A. Now I've said my X, P, E's, the government doesn't control me. You know, I don't have a problem with people who are gay. I just have a problem with anyone who sticks their dick in my ass. That's why I use the patch. I don't see what the big controversy is over same-sex marriages. It's got to be better than the no-sex marriage I was in. Try being married to the same woman for 20 years. You'll get the same sex over and over and over. At some point, you got to ask yourself if maybe being a homosexual is better than being an homosexual. Because I wasn't getting no sex. I don't know what it was. I think it's because my wife was one of these suspicious women. She always thought I had an ulterior motive for everything I did. For instance, I was on the road, and I sent her a postcard, and on the front of the postcard was a picture of a beautiful woman in a skimpy bikini on the beach. On the back, I wrote, "Wish you were her." My wife wasn't very romantic. My wife's idea of starting a romantic evening was, well, the kids will be home in 10 minutes, we might as well get it over with. I didn't get a lot of sex, because just like that anti-drug slogan in the 1980s, my wife had her own Just Say No program. Tried to get my wife to fantasize. She said, "You want a fantasy? All right. Let's pretend I've been dead for 3 weeks. The flesh is rotting off my body. I'm bloated, stink, and you just gotta have it." Okay. Not the best first-time fantasy, but give me a minute, I can work it out. I bought one of those books on how to improve your marriage, and in the book it said I needed to write down little positive notes and messages and leave them around the house for her to read. So I did. I hung a sign over our bed that says, "It's not just a job."